But from my perspective, it is so nice to see SharePoint getting some much deserved love in recent times because it's not had the best of reputations over its lifespan. And more recently, I mean, I'll make it clear, I'm a SharePoint Online guy. I very rarely to never touch on-prem. I'm online all the way. But I think what's driven it for me is Teams, for sure. I think Teams has brought people back to SharePoint from the very fact that the data in Teams, the file structures in Teams has a SharePoint site. And from your SharePoint sites, you mentioned hubifying before, you can teamify a SharePoint site as well. So there's like great correlation between the two technologies.
Mark Rackley coined a phrase that we use inside Pate quite a bit, that Teams is the gateway drug to SharePoint.
Yeah.
It kind of is, because so many times through the history of SharePoint, you would hear a group or a department say, we don't need a site. We don't need a site. We just need a place where we can share files. It's like, okay, well then ignore the site. Just use the library. Let's make some libraries for you. Now, okay, try a team. You don't have to touch SharePoint if you don't want to.
Absolutely. And one of the common questions that I've found as somebody who works a lot with SharePoint and with Teams from customers is, when do I need a SharePoint site as opposed to when do I need Teams, or when do I need Yammer communities? And how do you respond to that sort of question when you inevitably get it?
Well, I ask my consultant question. Well, first I say, it depends. And then I say, what are you trying to do? Are you taking content and sharing it out to a large group inside of your organization? More than likely, in that situation, a SharePoint communication site is going to be a good go-to thing. Put it out there, give everybody read access to the content. They can come consume it, fill out that form, make the request, get to the content, and go on about their job. But if we need a place where we can work together, it's task-based. There's things going on. We need to get stuff done. Let's talk about Teams, because Teams brings communication to the collaboration, right? Brings it up to the next level. We can talk about it while we're doing it. And I love how you can open a document in Teams and have that chat pane on the, so you don't have to have a meeting. What? We can work together and not have a meeting? Magic. But if you want to have a community, it's not task-based, it's an area of interest or an area of learning, then I would absolutely recommend we look at Yammer. Yammer has kind of had, we've kind of all rolled our eyes at Yammer in the past. I have rolled my eyes hard at Yammer, but
me too.
we have, sorry, Yammer, we're sorry. But 2020 brought this home to me, because if everything is in Teams, all the talk, all the chatter, then every time I get a notification from Teams, I'm like Pavlov's dog. I'm jumping at it. Where's my phone? What's going on? What's happening? Because the weight of all of those notifications is pretty high, pretty heavy. But if we pull the want to know away from the need to know, we put what I want to know about, what I want to be involved, and I separate that from my tasks, now I'm not getting information overload. Now I go to Yammer when I want to engage with this community. I have the time to invest in some of that learning that's not task-based. And the architecture kind of starts to simmer down a little bit in terms of that notification overload.
I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. I've never heard it described that way before. And again, I'm still going to use that. So thank you.
Well, I tell you, Microsoft, Rishi, and I am blanking on his last name, has a great bit of information on Maca, modern architecture. I borrowed that from him, so I cannot take all the credit for that. But that went through that process with him, had him on one of our webinars, and it was like, oh. And I actually tweeted an apology to Yammer that day.